Hey, fellow builders, model lovers, enthusiasts, tankers, everybody. I'm excited. I'm so excited because I have in my hands a kit that I built probably, I don't know, 25 years ago, maybe more, give or take. I got it for a steal on eBay. And, you know, these old DML kits, they are... they're not great on accuracy. They're not huge on detail, but I remember, you know, this was to me a big stepping stone up from, you know, testers and Italeri and stuff like this. It made me feel like a real modeler, you know, when I got my hands on a kit like this. Of course, we're talking back when I could. I shouldn't say this out loud, but you know, I could cut school and go to a real hobby shop and go and pick up an actual model kit and spend the rest of the day hiding at home building it. I did that in school. Yeah. But so I play Team Yankee, which is, you know, a miniatures war game, and here is a semi-completed. I played the big bad Soviet army because I like to swarm and mass my tanks. My son plays the good old USA because he's a patriot. But I've always been a fan of Soviet armor and I don't know, I like the look of it. I mean, you know, I served myself when I was in the army in American armored units. Let's face it, like, you know, I always say, 1st Cavalry Division, it's been a long time since we had horses and Stetsons. Actually, we still have horses and Stetsons, but you know, it's basically a glorified armored division now. So being a cavalry scout in that division isn't a big anyway. But I've always liked the look of Russian armor. It's sleek, it's short, squat, low profile. We won't even mention, you know, the quality factor, but It was a great Russian who said quantity has a quality all its own. So the T-64, by the way, is one of my favorite tanks in history. So, you know, I wanted to get an older kind of kit that I could build up to be a larger scale representation of what I play my Team Yankee army as, and painted in the same color scheme and camouflage from the group of Soviet forces in Germany in the 1980s. And I figured an old DML kit is just perfect for that because I don't need it to be super detailed. Just like the models that we use in Team Yankee, the actual Team Yankee models, it just needs to be good enough, like a larger T-72, and because the Team Yankee is based on, you know, 1985-ish technology, there's not a lot of fanciness to the Russian tanks there, so this is a great one to work with. So you can see this kit has had better days, though, which is probably why I got such a good deal on it. But let's go through the box. Let's see what we've got. Well, oh. Okay, well, ew, is that mold in the box? That's disgusting. I'm going to have to rebox this kit. I'm not keeping it in mold. So, that's kind of gross. Yeah, there's mold coming off on my fingers on the instructions. Disgusting. Oh, God. All right. Well, I wasn't going to build it with Iraq decals anyway, but there you go. So now we see this is a 1991 kit. So in 1991, actually, that's a little bit before my cutting school and building models at home in my room time. So this must have been based on the Desert Storm kind of hoopla. But it gives you Iraqi army markings and ideas there for the decals we cannot possibly use. Over here we've got a set of decals. I see DDR, I see Soviet Guards, some Czech and some Finnish decals, but these look completely unusable. So, you know, looks like I'm just going to have to get some cheap aftermarket decals to finish this off. But we'll take a look at this in a second. So the instructions on these old kits are good enough. Sometimes a little bare. Sometimes they show you exactly, like, put things here, but they don't give you the best indication. Like these smoke launchers, I remember that they say put them there, but getting them in the right place is a whole different experience. Like, you know, modern instructions are so much more detailed. So, of course, it starts with road wheels. With the DML kits, you had to basically glue them in place. There's no poly caps or anything like that. You can see, I mean, I'll get this back out. The utter lack of detail on the hull tub here. It is very, very, very nothing there. But, you know, you won't have a lot of that visible anyway, but, you know, these were, at the time, these were considered fancy good kits. They've really improved since then. These decals, yeah, are completely unusable, so we'll toss them away with the moldy box. But we've got our lower hull tub there, the built-in dozer blade attachments, return rollers, and connection for the idler wheels. Of course, we'll put these on after. External fuel drums and the mandatory Russian unditching log. We should have some link tracks and then some big pieces that we'll deal with as we go. You know, and just comparing the amount of parts here and the intricacy of this construction to the Tacom, the T-34 that I just did, I mean, it's just like almost night and day. It probably will build into, you know, I mean, the thing is, you are limited a little bit by what the kit offers, but through detailing and weathering, you can produce a pretty nice kit even out of a kind of a mid-range one. But like I said, this is not to be a showpiece. This is kind of almost to be a caricature of the T-72 to match my Team Yankee Army, and so I mean it's going to do its job there. Not a lot of steps. We got one little Russian figure guy. Yep, there's a piece for Finland. Finland has historically used a lot of Russian hardware, being that close to them. They use a combination of stuff, which is kind of cool. What I always hated about these kits was their painting instructions were like in grays and blues, which didn't actually reflect the real colors used at all. So that kind of sucks. But it's okay, because I already know what paint scheme I'm going to use, and I know the exact colors that we're going to use to pull it off. So that doesn't matter. And during the construction, we'll look at it. Here's our parts maps. Okay, cool. I feel like I really need to check if all the parts are here. But so we've got our lower tub. We're gonna, you know what, we're gonna get everything out of this box because we are just gonna toss this box away. We've got our upper and lower turret pieces. Everything looks good here. Again, sparse on the detail, but there's aftermarket stuff you can get even for these older kits. Even aftermarket stuff that's made for newer kits, you know, resin and photo etch and everything. If you're creative, you can make it work. You just gotta be willing to spend the time to figure it out. Lots and lots of dry fitting before you actually glue anything down, but there's lots that you can do. So we've got 2 sprues of road wheels, fuel tanks, idler wheel connections, Everything, yeah. So like these parts are bagged, which is cool. So they're all going to be in good shape. But I mean, if you take a look, we're again minimum detail on these parts. I was just really excited to see the old DML box and stuff. I haven't built one of these old kits in a long time. I think the area where you can see the basic detail the best is on the top of the hull. Basic detail, and that's it. Just basic stuff. And again, it'll do. It'll do. We'll make do. Here's your big old 125mm main gun. A very simple anti-aircraft machine gun. Here's the commander figure. And the funny part is, DML and Dragon made some of the most detailed sets of 135 figures at that time, you know, that you could get for dioramas and stuff. Their tanks are just, you know, whatever. Dragon obviously has gone on and made many better kits in modern times. They have their black label, which is not great in terms of accuracy sometimes, but they, you know, the name, the Dragon brand, has gone on to do some really good things. Here's a mantlet with molded in cover, so obviously this cannon's not moving. Side skirts, various other hull and turret pieces, part of the snorkel system, splash guard for the driver, searchlights, infrared searchlights, white light searchlights, the unditching beam. Well, the unditching beam actually has some, I don't know if the camera's going to show it, some nice wood detail in there. So like you give it a nice initial paint job and then a good wash, and then it'll settle into all those details. It'll look pretty good. And then we've got tracks, 2x. They're molded in kind of a grayish color, which may be good enough to get away. Nah, probably not. I mean, this might be a good base color, and then you can just add dry brushing and weathering on top of it. I don't know. It's not a bad gunmetal color. I got 2 of those. And then these are the smoke launchers on both these sprues. Not a fantastic kit, but you know, the thing is, the build will be easy. It'll be an easy build, a quick build, and I will be very excited to get it all done. So, I haven't built one of these kits in forever. So I'm going to house the kit in the box that it was shipped in, rather than the mold-covered box that the kit was packed in. And that's going to be an interesting piece of feedback on eBay. Because I assure you, nothing on eBay said mold. I promise you. And I will start looking for some basic numbers and Russian insignia decals that we can use, because we're gonna need that. But one of the things I loved about DML is they had this great box art. They had all these cool paintings on all of them, and the paintings are actually more detailed than the model kits themselves. But all right, so this is the unboxing for the kit. I'm going to build the kit. I'm going to love the kit. It's going to be sweet. I've got some projects I've got to get to before building it. You know, I've got some stuff in progress. So I don't know when you're going to see this particular video, or you know, the build progress, you know, if it's going to be before I do all the other things or in the middle of them or whatever. But I hope you guys will enjoy seeing the progress of this very old kit being built up and detailed, and hopefully, you know, you will like it. We'll see. So, anybody have some comments on this very, very old kit? Let's see, 1991. I actually have to do math. So let's say, like, 1991. This kit is 29 years old. This is, I have supervised troops in the military younger than this kit by about a decade. That's awesome. I know some of you feel cheated. I didn't give you the whole history lesson like I usually do. Don't worry. I'll give it to you when we're doing the building. We talk about the T-72. and how NATO was terrified of it. And then we went up against it in Desert Storm and basically cut through them like Swiss cheese. I might even tell you a very interesting story about a special operations mission to steal an Iraqi tank just prior to the start of the ground war and how that all went. But I hope you guys will enjoy joining me for the build. It will be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun for me. I hope it'll be a lot of fun for you guys too. And I will see you guys all then.